everyone, this is Stamping Songbird. This is the Galaxy background redo that I did just a few days ago using these beautiful distress inks. And today I thought I would make two slimline cards. I'm starting with a mini slimline. This is a 3x6 panel of white cardstock. I'm going to start by placing some spiced marmalade in some spots here on the cardstock with no rhyme or reason, no actual pattern. And then I'll move on to the other three colors. I'm moving on to Dusty Concord. And again, just putting colors here and there, no actual pattern, just filling in the space. And then I'm going to move on to Peacock Feathers. This is probably my favorite blue of all the blues in the Distress Ink line. I end with this beautiful red called Lumberjack Plaid, which is the newest red in the line. It looks like a hot mess now, but I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to use this Distress Ink paint, I think it's called, in white, and I'm going to put a generous amount on this small brush and just use a bone folder to bang along the brush so that I can create the illusion of stars in a galaxy. It's already coming together. Now to give it a different look and to save on ink, instead of putting black soot ink, which is a black ink, all the way around, I'm going to use this black panel. It is from Whimsy Stamps. I'll put the name of the die down below. This panel is going to allow for me to cover the edges and give that black illusion of space, but give it a whimsical look as well, almost like you're looking through the windows of a spaceship. I'm going to place that right on top of the colored galaxy, and it's already coming along so well. I'm going to place that now on a card base that measures 3 by 6. And that card base you created with a 6 by 6 card and then just scored down the middle at 3 inches. So that's going to go right on top, and it looks fantastic. Now here's one of the little astronauts that I colored before, and I'm just going to place him down along with some other elements that I created from got ready for the last card, and I'm going to decide where I'm going to put them. I don't always plan my cards, I just decide on the spot. So there I took a moon and I cut it in half so it looks like it's peeking through the window. Now this little tool that I'm using is a jewel picker that I got from Michaels. It comes in a pack of 3, looks like a crazy Q-tip, but it picks up jewels. Now I'm going to add a sentiment. This is from the stamp set Space Explorers from MFT, which is the set that I'm using here. And it says, Mission Control, we have a birthday. Now I'm just trying to figure out where to put my little guy, what would look best. And I realized, this really isn't working, so I'm just going to turn the card and make it a vertical card. I like this a lot better. So I decided to put these sentiments towards the top, and I'm going to then add my little character towards the bottom. That tool that I'm using to hold the sentiment is called a reverse tweezers. They're fantastic for picking up little elements. Here I decide to switch up the little astronaut and take the little guy that looks like he's floating. I place him towards the middle. And I really like the way that looks. I'm going to call that card done. So here is the mini slimline side by side with the traditional A2 card. Here's card number 3, and this one is going to measure 3.5 by 7, I believe, or 7.5. I'm just terrible with these measurements, but I will put it down below. So just like I did with the mini slimline, I am going to use a panel also from Whimsy Stamps with 3 windows in it. This one's got more of a quadrilateral shape of 4-sided figures that aren't exactly squares. Again, I begin by adding color on this panel all the way around just to fill it up. I'm using the exact same colors. That red is Lumberjack Plaid. The purple is Dusty Concord. the blue is peacock feathers, and the orange is spiced marmalade. Again, looks like a hot mess, but it's going to come together in the end. I'm making sure that I cover enough of that white space so when I put my black panel on top, all you see is color and you don't see any of the white space. I'm looking to see how it looks with the frame and realize that there is a little spot there I can see some white. So I'm just going to use my blenders and just blend in a little bit more. I add a little bit more purple because I feel like it got a little bit muted as I went along. And now I'm going to add stars, but this time I'm going to use a green color. And I think this one is peeled paint, if I'm not mistaken. I am doing the exact same technique with the small paintbrush and my bone folder just to bang along and get those splotches. And there it is. I think it looks great. And green is a different take. I used gold in the first A2 size card, then I used white in the mini slimline, and I used green this time to create stars. I'm adding some foam pieces to the back of that window panel to give it a little bit of height. And I'm placing that right over the colored cardstock. Doesn't that look great? But there in the corner, I got a little bit of that green paint on the black panel. I'm going to fix that. First, I'm going to add the panel to the card base. And again, this is a traditional slimline card, which is a very long card, and it fits in a standard envelope. So here I'm grabbing my little astronauts and trying to decide who I'm going to place on my card and where am I going to place him on my card. So I've got 3 little guys left. 2 of them are the exact same and they are standing, and I decide to just do the craziest thing and cut him in half. So I place the part of the little astronauts with his head showing on the right side as if he were floating and peeking through. And then I added his torso and legs on the left panel on the left side, looking as if he is floating through there. Not that he's in 2 spots at once, but giving the illusion that there are actually 3 little astronauts on this card panel. I'm placing a few foam dots there on the little guy in the middle, just so that I can adhere him to that colored part. I fixed that little splotch I had on the left side by just adding splotches all over the black panel, and I think it gives it a great look. So here are my 3 cards: the traditional slimline size, the mini slimline. I think they look fantastic, and although I use the same colors on all 3, I think they all look different. And now here is the first card that I made. It is the traditional A2 size. Again, these were redos for a previous video that I did, and I didn't really like the way that card looked, and I didn't really like the audio. There was something wrong with the audio, so I decided to do it over again, and I think I still love this technique, and I love the stamp set, even though it's still not available. But this is an idea that you can come up with anything, rockets, little space aliens, anything, and create this galaxy background. If you enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see next. And as always, thanks for watching. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.